Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. I am not on here long for today. I want to briefly have a conversation about um I want to briefly have a conversation with you where we ponder, could this be the land of Oz that we're in? And it does feel like it. Like it really legit do feel like we are in the land of Oz. Like, that's what I've been thinking about like a lot lately. Like, I feel like a lot of the stories that they tell us, it's really like them giving us secret clues to what's going on. Like, all of these stories, like what's going on with the children, with the Pied Piper taking the children. Oh, excuse me. Um, Hansel and Gretel, like all of these stories, like it just feels like um, everything that they try to tell us on the big screen, they tell us in real time, and even um, how how in the Wiz, like when we watch the episode, make sure y'all click that thumbs up button when y'all come on. Make sure y'all support the channel by clicking that thumbs up button. Hey Anandia, make sure y'all click that like button. Oh, come on, bang! Ah, you like that bang? But yeah, my daughter had made this piece for me. She made it on my head, so like it was literally made for my scalp. She made it on my head last night. But yeah, so I'm just thinking about how this reality reminds me a lot, of the Wiz. Like it really do. Like it's giving me that. And I'm thinking about Alpha Buzz relationship. Thank you. This is actually that hair that I had. Like this is the blonde hair and the black hair that I had. And remember, I bought all of that extra hair, and so I had some hair left that I hadn't used, and so she put it in together. Like she mixed it together, and I was like, I'm still baffled at how she got like the blonde to be up here because this was like ombre hair, and I'm like, girl, how did you get it to come? I'm like, girl, what? Girl, how did you attract this to my hair? Girl, how did you do this? Girl, how did you get it to... Girl, I didn't understand how she got it to look like that, but I do love it though. I love the hair. But yeah, but yeah, so like I'm really, really like feeling like they was telling us something like how on point is Donald Trump being elected and his wife wearing this witch hat like at the inauguration, giving you Wicked Witch of the West, and he giving you like Wizard, like Grand Wizard. Like how close, like how the movies are like subliminally like telling us like how the movies are subliminally just like really, really just giving us all that tea. Just really, really just on point. Like every day, like I'm thinking about we had started talking about the Wiz in our work, when I was working with intentional flow, when I was working with empathy, when I was working with Fasola, we did a project while I was in Africa called Behind the Veil. And we was like we peeked behind the curtains and seen that the Wiz really wasn't so wonderful after all. And this was Trump's last administration. Like when we wrote that song, Trump was still in office. Like Trump was in office the first time. And now, when Trump comes into office the second time, like preparing for Trump to come in office the second time, we actually get the movie about Wicked, which is talking about the wizard again. And it's interesting that they said that Joe Biden, I think, elected more black women to the federal government, to like he elected more black judges then like I think he elected like 100 and something black women into power, like gave them like federal positions. And this is my thing. If all of those black women were elected into positions of power under the Biden administration, at least this is a video that's going around on TikTok. If it's not true, then if it's not true, then it's not true. But they said that Joe Biden was moving in silence and he elected all of these black women into positions of power. And so I'm interested in knowing how all of this is going to work out when all of these black women have been elected to like the Supreme Court, to like the federal circuit, and having these black women to enforce all of these policies that seem to be harmful, that are ultimately going to be harmful to a lot of people, because we got ICE running around here picking people up and deporting people. We got and they saying that the Trump administration is threatening HUD and threatening food stamps. And somebody in the comment section said Section 8 and all that. And somebody in the comment section was like, he probably gonna take it away, say that it's a waste, and then rebrand it and give it back to the poor people, and then get to play savior. And as soon as I saw that comment, as soon as I saw that comment in this comment section, it resonated with me, because I think that this is about ego. I think that this is about him wanting to be able to be the one that is thanked for everything. I don't think that he, like this whole trans thing, like this whole trans thing. Um, is he gonna wait till next year, and is he gonna find a way to throw the trans community a bone, or find a way, or is it just about to be 4 years of y'all don't exist? So I think that his ego is extremely big, and I think that the people who are smart enough to play to his ego, I think he's gonna find a way to make allowances for them, because Caitlyn Jenner voted for him. Caitlyn Jenner literally voted for this. But then again, Caitlyn Jenner is what, almost 80 years old, if not 80 years old. So Caitlyn Jenner has been called he and him and Mr., her whole life. So pronouns probably don't even matter to Caitlyn. Like Caitlyn probably don't even mind being called a he at this point. The Wizard of Oz is my favorite movie. It's my favorite movie because I always learn something new. It really is. It really is. It's spiritual, like the Wiz and the Wizard of Oz. There's always another layer, and I say this about my surgery, like even though I went and had my revisions and I've had difficulties with this is why it's not something that I really like promote to people or tell other people they should go and get. I always make it personal and I talk about my relationship with it. But I feel like we're all on this journey, um, depending on the government and depending on what the government has technologically to give us things that we need, like. And so just like they were going to see the Wiz, to ask the Wiz to give them a heart, or to give them a brain, or to give them courage. Like I feel like that resonates with me deeply as a trans person, like having to go and see this patriarchal figure, or going to see um one of the alleged rulers of this matrix, to try to get them to grant you something that will make you feel more whole. And I'm not trying to airbrush over my narrative and pretend like I haven't participated in this as well, my journey to be feeling whole in my body. But I feel like when you are attempting to go and have these surgeries, or you're trying to get the approval, because for some of us it's a surgery, for some of us it's having good credit, for some of us it's being able to buy a home, for some of us it's having all of our documentation so we could be able to travel, for some of us it's being recognized on our jobs and being able to advance in our jobs. But whatever it is, we're all seeking validation from this system. We're seeking validation from these institutions. And who is the figurehead of that is, the president, who's the Wizard of Oz. And so I think that's the part that I've played in this, is like going to the Wiz to try to feel more comfortable in my body. I'm not under the delusion that I am somehow now female, or that I am somehow now I was no longer born with male anatomy, and that um, I mean, these are markers that they gave me because of what it took for me to feel comfortable in my body. So when I went and had my penis reshaped into a vagina, when I went and had my penis crafted to appear and to have some of the function of a vagina, medically they call it a neo vagina, which basically means it's not a real vagina, but they call it a neo vagina. So when I went and had that process, then that's when they said, okay, the doctor gave me a letter. It was like, this individual no longer functions as male. And so when you only have two categories you can fit into in a patriarchal binary society, if you no longer function as male, or you no longer perform as male, and you perform more as female because you sit down when you pee, you take something in between your legs, now you are receiving, you are already appearing, and showing up in a way that was more connected to your female ancestors. And so these are the markers that y'all have. These are the markers that y'all have for us. And you 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 haven't we haven't created a society or created a space where beings who don't connect with their genitalia in the way that a patriarchal society tells us that we should. I'm going to say that again for people who are not there intellectually, spiritually, mentally, or emotionally. We haven't done enough work as a society and as a people to cultivate spaces that validate people who do not connect with their genitalia in the way that they are expected to, based on the social constructs that are associated with that genitalia. I understood everything that I've just said because I've been doing the work, but I'm sure that will go over a lot of y'all head, because I'm not really saying it in a way that a colonizer or an academic would say it to you. Although I am using the language, I'm using English language, but I'm expressing it in a way in which I've taught myself to communicate. And so because we don't align with or connect with our genitalia in the way that we are groomed to connect with our genitalia, we go and make those physical changes to feel comfortable in our body. And what labels do you give us? You give us male and female. And so this is what y'all created. But how can you have over 8 billion people who are supposed to have their own mind, who are supposed to be free thinkers, who are supposed to be able to think for themselves? How do you have that many people on a planet and not expect for there to be um, differences in our expression? And this is not just me putting on dresses, or me wearing hair, or me wearing makeup, or if I was leaning more to the masculine and I was born with a vagina. Like, I feel like these things that cause us to express ourselves in the way that we express ourselves, it is it is connected to our genetic makeup. It's connected to our DNA. Like, it reflects in our expression, but there's a genetic makeup. Um I was watching some videos and I heard somebody say that intersex people are more common than redheads. Like, if you've ever seen a redhead, then being intersex is more common than being a redhead. And I've seen a few redheads. Like, I've seen quite a few redheads. And so being intersex is more common than we think, but the genetic testing is not often done because, first of all, I think it's done intentionally. I think it's done intentionally because once you start letting us know that a lot more of us are intersex than we've been led on to believe, then it really, really, really conflates this whole it debunks this whole narrative that there's two sexes. So you want to keep the intersex like a unicorn. And if you notice in this conversation, we're hearing a lot about binary and trans, but we're not having conversations about intersex people. And this would be my strategy for a class action lawsuit in this time. I am not one who like feels like, hey, if y'all want to get out here and fight in the streets over titles that Massa gave you, then y'all go for it. More power to you. I'm gonna continue to advocate in my own way through my art and my storytelling. But I do feel like if legal action is taken against the government, I think that the best strategy, and this is free. This is for the free. I'm giving y'all this for the free. I think that the best strategy is to start doing more testing on trans people, to identify, to start to raise money to do more genetic testing. To do more in-depth genetic testing that looks at the DNA to really, really debunk this whole black and white XX and XY. I think that there needs to be a greater conversation about the different variables and the different genetic codes that exist in society. And I think that bringing science more to the forefront, because our government loves to utilize science. They hide behind Jesus, they hide behind Christianity, but they value science over faith. They use faith to beat up on the poor people and to keep poor people in check, and to keep the masses at bay and to keep the masses at check. But they rely on science. They rely on technology. And so, in a movement that is attempting to combat what is being done to the trans community right now, I think that there needs to be more genetic testing done on trans people. There needs to be more genetic testing done on non binary people, just to show what the numbers really are. And I think that a lot of money should be raised, and it should go into having genetic testing that proves that a lot more of us are different variations of intersex. And being intersex does not always mean that you have ambiguous genitalia. Just to be clear, some of us, we don't understand that. We think, oh, if you're hermaphroditic or if you're intersex, that automatically means that it's cut and dry. When you look down there, you're gonna see some type of ambiguous genitalia. But there are many different variations of being intersex. You can be what they call it, um androgynous, androgen. That's where you're born, where you literally look like a biological female down there, but your chromosome is XY. Your chromosome is literally XY, but when you look down there, everything, all your plumbing looks like female. But your chromosomal makeup is the same way as if you were born male, but you just weren't born with a penis, you were born with a vagina. You can't some most times you can't reproduce, you can't make children, but literally you can have the XY chromosome like a male and have a vagina. Yeah. So I think that there needs to be a lot more research done with genetic testing, and I think that's one of the first things that we need to do because they're gonna argue everything else. You could talk about how this has been an inconvenience, how this has hurt you, people's feelings. They don't. The government don't care about that. The government don't care about that. But science, when you start talking science and you keep putting science in their face, either they gonna hear it or they're going to have to show us who they really are. They're gonna have to double down and they gonna have to show us that y'all grand wizards, y'all clansmen, y'all channeling the spirit of the founding fathers. Maybe take just go ahead and say who you is. You're Nazis, you're the Klan, you're the KKK. Just go ahead and say who you is, because if we giving you the science that's proving that intersex people are more common than y'all want to have a conversation about, then and if you notice, that's the thing that's missing from this conversation is intersex. Like, they're specifically and strategically focusing on trans people, and they're focusing on non-binary people. And if we would have stayed with, this is what I love about New Orleans, where I'm from, where I was born, because I was born in New Orleans. What I love about New Orleans is even the simplest of people, when we was growing up, they used to call us, before we, like when you transitioned and you lived in your truth, they used to call us hermaphrodites. Not, and it's the New Orleans accent, so they ain't say hermaphrodite, they said hermaphrodites. We was all hermaphrodites. If you somehow just naturally looked at more female than male, you naturally looked at more female than male, you naturally leaned more to your feminine side, the boys used to call us hermaphrodites. The community, they would call us hermaphrodites. And it was like spiritually and internally they knew it wasn't, you couldn't simplify it as gay. You couldn't simplify it as sissy. You couldn't simplify it into punk. They would often call us hermaphrodites because intuitively they understood that that's more deeper than that. This is a little bit more complicated than that. Like, we were literally getting called hermaphrodites. And as time went by, we let the colonizer come in and start telling us how to talk, and hermaphrodite became an inappropriate word. And so saying hermaphrodites, of course, was inappropriate. So everybody was trying to be politically correct. So they started saying trans and transy, and the boys started saying that word. But they literally used to call us hermaphrodites. They understood that we were a combination of both without any genetic testing. Like on that basic level, the boys that we dealt with, the people in the community, oh, that's one of them hermaphrodites. Oh, here come one of them girl. I literally had a song where I used to say, If that bitch don't treat you right, get yourself a morphodise. All right, fucking right, it's all right. Like when I was like 19, 20 years old, I was calling myself a morphodise. It was the ratchet way we said morphodise. Which meant I was a combination of both. But imagine going through the institution and being colonized out of your own sense of awareness. Because let's be clear, when I was in kindergarten, all of the boys used to get sent to one side of the campus, and I would we they was dividing the campus, so the girls had to play on one side, which I think is some social engineering, because you're grooming beings who are born with penises to you're cultivating a behavior amongst these males that you're finna try to blame and say it's nature, but you literally are separating them from each other like they're in boot camp or like they're in prison. You know, like you're cultivating a toxic energy because there's not the balance of the energy that's coming from these beings that were born with different genitalia, who rest in a different energy. Like by dividing us as children, they were grooming and they were programming and they were creating the environment that they wanted versus allowing nature to nurture. They It was a simulated reality. It was an experiment, and they divided us. That doesn't happen in real life in nature. Animals, the male lions don't be over here and the female lions be over here. In nature, it's not the like when you see dogs and cats, it's not that separation based on gender, race, and sex. We're the only species that does that, and that's grooming and that's programming. That's grooming and that's programming. So they did a lot of grooming and programming. But when I was young, when I was in kindergarten, I always would play on the side with the girls, and I never got taken back over to the side with the boys because I legit blended in with the females. I legit, like, I played the same way, I engaged the same way. There was never any problems. And first grade, I had boys to pursue me. Second grade, I had boys to pursue me. Third grade, I had boys to pursue me. Every year I was being pursued, and this was a natural thing. And it was because I naturally looked at more feminine than masculine. I naturally had more feminine attributes than masculine attributes. But we base stuff on genitalia, and that becomes the expectation. And like I said, they were programming us. You know, they programmed us. We already had a sense of who we were. We already were whole. We already understood who we was. Me calling myself a hermaphrodite when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, I've said before that I called myself a punk and a faggot because we really didn't have words for it. But we also called ourselves hermaphrodites. And so I had an idea of who I was. I saw myself as whole. I saw myself as a hybrid of both, but trying to fit in because it was hard. It was hard to stand out. The more they were aggressively programming black men, like this narrative. When I was 16, 17, 18 years old, there was this really heavy narrative, and I don't know if you remember, but if you're close to 50 like I am, or older than 50, before they started saying black trans women only live to the age of 35 and stuff like that, when I was younger, there was this really strong narrative out, and we saw this in movies like Boys in the Hood. We saw this in movies like what Boys in the Hood, Minister Society, all of those movies. Like, it was all of these incantations and spells that were being cast that were attacking young black men. And so what we have to realize is that during the 80s and the 90s, there was a aggressive, like, and I it maybe started in the 60s before I was even there, because look at what they were doing with our leaders like Medgar Evers, like Martin Luther King, like Malcolm X. Like, if you had a voice and you were speaking up, they were executing you, they were killing you. And sometimes your own people in the brotherhood had something to do with your demise. And so when you spoke up and when you spoke out, you were being executed. And then the rest of them, they were going to jail. They were dying in crimes. And so this this aggressive this aggressive attack was happening to black men and forcing them to assimilate into the patriarchy, into the brotherhood. Because when I was younger, um, black men who identified as men and were black, they were a lot more free. Baby, we seeing the little, the new dance coming back out where it was dick popping. Child, when I was growing up, straight boys used to pussy pop. Like, they used to twerk. They used to throw their booty in a circle, and they were straight. They wasn't gay. They wasn't sleeping with men. They was just whole. They was just free. Like, it was dudes who was straight who knew how to shake their ass better than females. Like, literally, it was a normal thing. And then we just went through this weird season where dudes started wearing baggy clothes and Timberlands, and they was oppressed, and they'd be standing up against a wall and wouldn't move and wouldn't dance, trying to be cool and trying to look cool. And it was like they was dead inside. They started using drugs to numb themselves because they had to fit into this idea of what it meant to be a man. And being a man, by those standards in society, men didn't do all of that gyrating and shaking and dancing, and men didn't wear clothes that fit. Even though in the 70s they was wearing bell bottoms so tight you could see the piece print. But then something shifted where they started wearing the baggy clothes and the Timberlands, and they were shamed for dancing, and they were shamed for moving their bodies. And so you got all this testosterone brimming in your body. Where does this testosterone go? It goes to violence now. Then you're doing these drugs that are dumbing you down, these drugs that are taking you out of your zen and not allowing you to elevate and expand and grow in consciousness. These drugs that are eating at your brain cells. And so the moment you can't get a fix, the moment you're not high, your first response is violence. Your response is animal, it's carnal. I had to talk for a minute. I'm gonna read some of the comments. The movie was telling us to find a way back to yourself and align with your heart, mind, and courage to the journey, and never look for it outside of yourself. Amen, a woman. Make sure y'all click that thumbs up button if you're not just here to be monitoring spirits. The thumbs up is free. It's true. And now Trump is absolutely gutting the federal government. I think it's for him to be savior, though. I think he's setting it up for him to look like the savior. That's what I was thinking, and that's what he did. I thought New York was a safe haven. Oh, well, I mean, I haven't really seen things change in New York. But I'm from Louisiana, so my work and my platform is always gonna be reflective of the conversation that, like, New York is refuge for me. New York is sanctuary for me. But my activism, I will always, like, to the capacity that I have, I will always speak up for Louisiana, and when I can show up for Louisiana, I will show up for Louisiana because that is the city of my birth. And so when you hear me talk about atrocities and when you hear me talk about things that are going wrong, I'm typically talking about Louisiana because I'm in Louisiana multiple times throughout the year. Like, I went to Louisiana. I want to say one, two, three. Yeah, like I try to go back to Louisiana at least once every 3 months. Once once every 4 months. Like I try to do it like 3 times a year. So once every season, I try to be back in Louisiana and I try to be there for a little while. So when I'm talking about what's going on, I'm also still in a lot of boards, a lot of groups, where we talking on Zoom and stuff. So when I'm talking about what's going on, New York is my base. New York is where I lay my head. My activism is not rooted here, but my existence and my being is, how I show up. I'm always gonna show up. I'm always gonna participate in things and get-togethers to try to, move the needle forward and to try to create, safe spaces for us. But my activism is obviously not rooted in New York. I'm not from here. So when I'm talking about things that are going on, most times I'm talking about how Louisiana is being impacted. Like, for example, the laws that they've made where in school you cannot literally talk about being trans. And if the teacher is being supportive, the teacher could get fired. And they're starting to put the Ten Commandments in all of the school. So when you hear me talk about things that sound antiquated, I'm typically talking about Louisiana. Because Louisiana really needs that support right now. But New York, I haven't. I'm not gonna say that New York can't experience some difficulties, or I'm not gonna say that things can't change for New York, or New York is untouchable. I'm not finna, brag that, but from right now, I'm not really seeing any changes as of yet. New York is giving me safe haven teas. I do think that they had some laws passed here to kind of like protect, but we're gonna see what the tea is. We're gonna see what the tea is. We're gonna see. You know, um, a lot of people here are used to trans people. And trans people get a lot of respect here. Um, Queer people get a lot of respect here. And another reason why I'm here is I also, want to be able to be a stop, on the Underground Railroad for trans people who have shown loyalty and support to the work that I do and who I have, healthy relationships with. I want to continue to show up for them. And so, if a girl is trying to get sanctuary and trying to get herself set up, then of course I want to be instrumental in that. But that doesn't mean that, this is a halfway house and everybody about to be running up and through who has never shown support, who's never shown up for me, who I really honestly don't know you. And the first time you reach out to me, you asking for something. No, I'm not her. I'm not her. I want to help community, but I also am helping community who has helped me. I'm almost 50 years old. I don't feel obligated to help no girl just to be helping her. Because I know a lot of girls will get your help and get your assistance, and once they get it, they'll give you their ass to kiss. There's no loyalty. That's why a lot of times they say if you find them on their ass, leave them on their ass, or they'll give you their ass to kiss. So with me, if I help you, there is an expectation. Yeah, I'm not just helping you from the kindness of my heart. I'm not even much finna pretend. That's been done. That's been done. Oh, I'm helping you from the kindness of my heart. No, I'm not. I help homeless people and strangers when I give them some change or a plate of food. I do that from the kindness of my heart. But when it comes to community, people that I'm supposed to be in community with, if we not trying to build together, if we not trying to heal together, then girl, stay out my inbox and stay on my phone. Don't call me asking me for nothing. If you one of those opportunists that see an opportunity for you to come up and think that you about to try to use somebody, stay out of my phone and stay out of my inbox. But I'm not a person who is turning my back on community, but I am being more selective about who I give my energy to, who I show up for, and who I support. I sit up and listen to you talk for a little while, and once I see where your mind at and your head at, and you sound like you still living on old earth, I will. This is my thing, cause I'm a resource center. If I feel like I don't have the bandwidth, I don't have the capacity, but I don't think you're a bad person. I just don't think that spiritually we mesh well, because you may be on some Jesus is on the main line stuff. I have sisters who can relate to that. So I may put you in a group and let you see if you can work it from there. I may set you up with a girl who I think have the bandwidth and can help you. I will redirect you and set you up with somebody else if I don't have the capacity. If when I listen to you talk, if me and you don't sound like we're on a similar frequency, or you could match my energy, or you anywhere near my level, then girl, I am quick to find some other people to help you. Legit. I ain't gonna just ignore you if I think that you're a decent person and you're really, really trying to get yourself together and I see you making some effort. I'm not gonna just ignore you. But if I don't have the capacity, you'll know. Cause I'm gonna redirect that. I'm gonna be like, okay, well, girl, let me get you set up. Cause some of us, we just like we are part of the problem. We wondering why bad things keep happening to us and why we just can't get a break. Baby, it's your mindset. It's your mindset. You're stuck in an echo chamber. You're stuck in a loop. Boo boo, evolve. Yeah, he played Savior with TikTok. I thought New York was, yeah. Da, 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 da. He worship. He wants to be worshipped. Yep. It's giving cult leader. So they roll back protect. So they can roll back protections and programs in New York. Mm. I haven't seen any of that though. So it's too late to move to New York. Not at all. I don't know about the name change process though, like getting your documents changed, especially if they're federal. But I know they was giving a lot of people F's. Last year they was giving out F's like candy. They was giving out F's to the girls like candy. On a state level. They was giving out them F's like candy. They was giving out them F's like candy. The Wiz was talking about us the whole time. These movies, was way ahead of time. They was preparing us. They was preparing us. That's why they getting these children. That's why they got these children playing these video games now. All of these violent video games and all of these video games that are about war and violence, because 20 years from now, with all of these people on the planet, oh honey, it's about to get real chaotic. It's about to be real ugly. And that's why they giving these children The things that these children are, the conversations and the information that's being presented to these children at 8 and 9 and 10 years old, child, I would never be 8, 9, and 10 years old with a toy gun, actually watching, like it's one thing when we was little, we had the guns and we was going pow pow bang bang, but now they literally see somebody getting killed on the video game. They see the blood spill out, they see them go down to the ground. Like all of this, your mind is manifesting and conjuring. Like they done took this whole to another level, but they was programming us when we was little with the little guns and stuff. That's why when they started releasing them guns into the neighborhoods and stuff, the boys was all too eager to play with them because they had them little guns when they was little. Now they giving them all of these games where they could blow stuff up and where they could kill people and where they could rob people in the video game, stealing cars and all this in the video games. It's all a part of programming in the brotherhood. Mm-hmm. They say to be they say to be different, but expected you to think and do the same thing. It makes sense. Intersex and trans people go hand in hand. Right. There are differences, but they go hand in hand. Thank you, Coletta. Come through with the bang rap. Oh, I knew you was going. I was waiting for you to come and live. I was waiting for you to come and live. Wait a minute, they sense they love science and experimenting on society. Oops, they sure do. Hey, me, you. I've been missing you. I haven't seen you in a minute. Hope you're having a good day. They ain't ready for that conversation. This is one sided. They just all about themselves and very partisan and close minded. Mm hmm. Mm hmm. Hey, love. Hey, Golden Queen. How you doing, baby? Come on, Purple Hearts. Androgynous hermaphrodite. Right. Pretty much. Like androgynous is pretty much visually giving you both worlds, and I think that the hermaphroditic side of it is when the genetics verify, like when there are certain genetic anomalies or when there's something that's going on genetically that backs, the androgyny, you know. I love the hair, boo. How is everyone today? Um, oh, you done had to throw somebody up out of here, huh? 100% pure love. Um, while they worry about transgenders, they need to worry about inflation and other things. Well, JD Vance saying it's gonna go down. It's just gonna take a minute. I agree. At this point, I don't see what's all the hateful energy about. No one is hurting anybody. If someone is leave race and gender all out of that, just a human thing, right? And um the one good thing that I could say about this administration is it's not just black people who getting picked on now. And I feel, my heart goes out to all of the Latino people who somehow believed that Trump was going to be, different. And then let's be clear, some of the Latino people, they probably believed, hell, too many Latinas coming over here and they taking opportunities and they're also like being an example of Latina people that we don't want to be here. And so there was probably some division against Latina people, just like there's division in the black community. But now when he running around picking up people from ICE, because I saw a video where he picking up Latino people that actually like own property and have work permits and work, like are permitted to be in this country and who doing their checkups. Like he legit picking up people who like literally are doing what they supposed to do. And I'm telling you, this is literally the slave catchers. Like this is modern day slave catchers. Because all them people is not gonna be deported. Please know that. That they've been getting them concentration camps ready. It was intersex women that was interviewed, and she was pregnant and everything, but she lost the baby because the doctors wouldn't help her. Oh my goodness. What's hurting is these prices and the cost of living is levels to this. Historically, I have read and heard all those terms. You're right. We're considered to be two spirited. We were considered to be two spirited in past lives. Even the Bible says, talks about the eunuch, but they hid all their history and scrambled it. They misgender trans women, calling them men in sports, which is aggravating. Oh wow, I haven't heard that one. What about the hermaphrodites? Call yourself a what? A poltergeist. Not a poltergeist, a morphodite. We ain't nothing new under the sun. It's her math being taken out, so her math for dice, but we just said more for dice. So it's her math being removed, and it's instead no, it's actually her being removed, and then instead of saying maphrodite, saying morphodice. Like more the word more, then for, then the word dice, more for dice. And that's just New Orleans. But we knew morphodice meant hermaphrodite. Uh, yeah, true separation has always been weird. The male seahorses carry the babies. Oh, it's a lot of that going on under the water. Like, it's so many examples of that. The clownfish, literally, amongst the clownfish, if if the mother gets killed, if the female gets killed, one of the female clownfish, literally, like if in Finding Nemo, they didn't tell the story accurately because when the mother died, um, the one of the clownfish will literally go through a metamorphosis and become female to replace the female that was killed. A lot of that goes on under the water. You know more about biology, science, and neurology than a doctor. It seems like they only get taught the basics. And somebody called themselves talking about me and was like, "You're obsessed with gender." Somebody gotta be. Somebody gotta be. Somebody gotta be. It's the halfling programming. That's right, Anundia. Right, and the wolves, apes, etc. Even the sea ocean. Yeah, we're not separated. They don't. We're the only species that separates male from female. Like you go over here and you go over here. That's a part of the grooming us to have that halfling energy. Because if we really was not always being separated from each other, we will really see just how much alike we are. And so that's how you create the battle of the sexes is by constantly separating us from each other. That's why, when we come back around each other and we start hanging around each other, when we start going through these physical changes, it's awkward because y'all have groomed us not to understand these changes because we haven't been around each other. Like literally in the animals, when the female be on her cycle, the male be behind the booty. But a lot of males in this reality have been groomed to see the smell as like it's just crazy. Like we just live in a weird reality. Don't have capacity, don't have compassion because of the grooming. She, the first person I ever heard say the term halfling. And baby gonna keep saying it. They put what we really are in Lovecraft country where they found that hermaphrodite girl in the ship. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's in Lovecraft because I watched Lovecraft Country. I missed that. The gangster rap era in the early 90s was social engineering. Right. And while that was going on, get into this T. While that was happening amongst the heterosexual people, what were the gays doing? What were the gays doing? What were the gay men doing? The no fats, no films parties. It was some organizing going on in the 90s. The Neanderthalic aspects of men were being hunted and caged and killed if they could not assimilate. And the ones that tapped into their femininity, the ones that had a little bit more bandwidth, a little bit more range, and they were sleeping with each other, they were organizing no fats no films parties, and they were organizing the hermaphrodites, the trans, the non-binary. They were organizing them out of the conversations where you had a legit voice. They were making moves to gatekeep the trajectory of the LGBTQIA community. In the 90s, they were gatekeeping, and they were communing and convening, and they were using those sex parties, and they was using those no fast no films parties to cultivate a space where they could change the trajectory of the movement. So while we were being under attack as trans people, while we was getting picked up on the corner because we couldn't get jobs, we couldn't get opportunities, while we was going to jail, while we was taking the hardest hits from contracting HIV because a lot of us were bottoms, and that's who was getting it, the bottoms. So while we was contracting the virus and out there on the block doing sex work trying to survive and going in and out of jail and being beat and murdered by already extremely oppressed black men, they was somewhere organizing having no fast no films parties. It's diabolical. It's diabolical when you get down into this rabbit hole. Yes, that was a great point about the seahorses. They don't want to talk about that part. I just rewatched that, and I did see a character. She looked like Native American. Yes, right. The lady on the ship. That was a great show. They need to bring it back. Niggas was whole in the 70s and the 80s. Come on. That's why they brought HIV. That's why AIDS came. To change the trajectory. That was when they didn't like the path we was going on. They had to change the trajectory, and that's why they started organizing with them no fats no films parties, honey. They was like, we gotta save ourselves, baby. Right, Eddie Murphy, Prince, Rick James, yeah, they all dressed in tights and everything. That's right. Louisiana, what part? Nolan's. Yeah, yeah, that's where you heard Morphodite at in Nola. That show Lovecraft Country has so much truth, and they couldn't handle it and canceled it. Truth on so many things. I would love to visit Louisiana and New Orleans so bad. Baby, if you could have came before Katrina, you would have saw what it was before they started, doing what they doing now. Me, transgender education in schools. Transgender education is in schools to educate these haters how to address people who are different. They're going to have to live in the world with, so deal with it and respect them. Learn some act right. A man, a woman. That's lovely activism, right? Um, and you do have to be careful and vet people for safety and protecting yourself. I love that you use the word vet because you do. You do have to vet people. Just like even when you're doing sex work and stuff like that, baby. When I used to meet dudes and talk to people and let people come to my house, child used to be on the phone with them niggas for 2 and 3 hours before they came to my house. And some of them I would make give me their ID and make them give me their personal information when they walk in my house. Yay. Yay. Put yourself first. Exactly, 100% pure love. Haters will say stupid things like, you can't, I can't have my kids around them. Well, welcome to the real world. People are different and you can't shelter them. Right. You don't want shelter children. Like, if you're trying to raise sovereign and autonomous beings, you want to be there and bring them into that. Like, you want to be responsible. Like, when you think about kings and queens, when you think about rulers, these are not sheltered people. These are people who've traveled and seen things and been exposed to things. And the biggest thing is make sure that you are enlightening yourself, empowering yourself, and educating yourself so that when your children are in these situations where you are introducing them to something that is not common or taboo, then you have the range and the capacity to be able to articulate your views on this without sounding toxic and narrow-minded and ignorant. That's the real important thing. Like, make sure that you've armed yourself and prepared yourself so that when you're teaching your children and exposing them to certain things, you have the range and the bandwidth. 100% pure love said it's about reciprocity, right, sweetheart? If we not looking out for each other, then what are we doing? Cause I don't want nobody to feel like I just owe you something. Right? Be intentional. Be more picky on who you pour into. I say Anandia. I agree. I'ma keep it a buck. Focus on the ones that love themselves unconditionally and put in that work for themselves. Amen. They woman. I agree 100%. Be careful when choosing people. I always say I fucks with who fucks with me. Period. 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 The subconscious mind of a lot of people in the realm be BS. Groom sheep. Be careful of the ops. Chicago be passing out F's. Oh, they be passing them out like water too. Oh, you live it? Wait, hold on. Oh, you like that? You like that, Eric? It's giving. Is it giving? Is it giving? Are you here for it? Are you here for it? Wait, hold on. Are you here for it? Oh, are you here for it? Let me stop. Wait. Humans are strange creatures, yes. Well, yes, with unbalance. That's why I don't understand when bio women see fish as an insult because it smells good sometimes. Water, fish, salt. I personally think that's the ultimate compliment because we all come from the water. Like, we started off as those beings. I am infatuated with mermaids. Like, I am infatuated with the water and the sea. Call me fish. Call me fish. Like, acknowledge my ancestors. Tie me with the water, baby. If they don't want the title, give it to me. Call me fish, baby. I'll be fish. You ain't gotta be fish. You ain't gotta have no relationship. I will be the fish. I will be the fish. I will be the stunty cunty. I will be the fish for you. There's no problem. It's no tea. I will be the fish. Call me fish, baby. I do realize some of us use it as an insult, but the same as Negro, nigga, and niggas. Right, because that's a symbol of royalty. That's a symbol of power. Heavy spiritual warfare by the punks in the 90s. Then here came Jerry Springer, whoop, which was the nail in the coffin. Camille Cherry said, first time watching you, love you already. Oh, thank you. Welcome to the channel. Did you subscribe and click that like button? And the shade is the no fats, no films butch queens are struggling to live up to the masculine ideas that they sexualize. Oh my goddess, God, today. I gotta read that one again, 100% pure love. And the shade is the no fats, no films butch queens are struggling to live up to the masculine ideas that they sexualize. Whoo! I gotta copy off Infinite Waters right here. Can I get a, whoo, slow motion, ooh, slow motion, ooh. Breathe in that beautiful ass prana. Can I get a hello there? Bitch. Bitch. And that's the game. I used to do searches, pat downs, and make tricks leave their shoes outside. I love me some 100% pure love, baby. Me and you. The sheltering their kids from trans people, but don't say they don't want their kids exposed to other things in the world which are really bad. Just focus on trans women. It's the sheeple mentality. I'm sad. I'm sad for it. You live. You. It's giving. It's giving. It's it's giving, honey. It's giving, honey. It's giving. I grew up being heavenly fascinated by mermaids. Child, I love mermaids, phoenixes, and dragons. Mermaids, phoenixes, the phoenix bird, and dragons. That's why one of my names is Phoenix. You couldn't tell me I wasn't a mermaid when I was little. I heard straight people who act like they hate the LGBT but pick up gay men and transvestites and trans women lingo and bite it and use it. Um, it don't make sense unless they mocking and making a mockery. It's a Pisces thing. Come on, Pisces. I love you, damn Kadeem. I love you too. Yeah, yeah, I noticed the name Phoenix Eden. And so when I took the name when I took the name Phoenix, it was because of the bird, because so many times I've had to rise from the ashes. You know, when I began my transition, that was me rising from the ashes as the feminine version of myself. When I tested positive, I had to rise from the ashes, you know, from that experience. You know, when I was in addiction, when I was incarcerated, like all of those times when I like after Hurricane Katrina, um I've had to constantly reinvent myself, so I've always resonated with the Phoenix. And Eden reminds me of the beginning. It reminds me that, I'm connected to the beginning. And so that was, Phoenix is one of my older names. And so Phoenix is representative of just continuing to be resilient and to continue to be reborn. And Eden is the beginning. And I actually, like, that was actually like my family name. Um, Before I became Kaneen Mafa. So all of my daughters, their last name was Eden. Um, I had another last name before Eden. I can't remember what that is. Oh, Cristal. So my first last name where I had daughters was Cristal. And so all of my children last name was Cristal. And then and that was like the last part of the, like, that was like right before the turn of the millennium, like 1999, 2000, we was Cristal. And then like around 2010, yeah, like around 2009, 2010, that was when we was Edens. Yeah, we was Crystals, and then we were Edens. But yeah, my daughter actually got me this for Mother's Day. My daughter Pernisha, she got me this for Mother's Day. So if y'all see me with this teddy bear, y'all know where it come from. That's why it be in the bed with me. She always give me teddy bears for Mother's Day. Like when people be thinking that, like, I don't know how it feels to get Mother's Day gifts, like that is literally another Mother's Day gift that I have on my wall. It says, "Mom, for all the times I forgot to thank you, for all the special little things you do, for all the words that sometimes go unspoken, I need to say I love you." And that's like, so, like, when, and she's giving me a lot more, like, I have a lot more Mother's Day gifts from her. I don't have all of them here. I have another one that's at home. But like I got children who actually fucking treat me, like, actually give me that respect of a mother. So, like, and I'm blessed to actually say, or blessed to say, that I actually have that experience of knowing what it feels like to be honored for, how I show up, honored for my nurturing energy, honored for my for that energy that I give. But yeah, I'm gonna try to come back later this evening and do another live video. But I gotta do my dilation because I just left from the doctor's office. And girl, come to find out that, the pussy, the pussy's supposed to be, um it's supposed to be moist, but it's not supposed to be this moist. So they call it vaginosis. What's going on with why it's given a cloudy discharge and why there's additional discharge. So I gotta dilate more, and they gave me this stuff. So I gotta dilate and put this in me. It's called metronidal vaginal gel. So it's like some type of antibiotic, and I gotta like dilate and put that up there, and like you and do it twice a day to get it down. I might have to have another little surgery um when I come back from out of town, because chill, I had got like a little bump in my stomach, and they say it might be like a little hernia or something. But I have to, the doctor was like telling me not to like do sit-ups and not to do anything that's like strenuous to hurt my stomach, because when I come back from my travels, I'm probably gonna have to have like another little mild surgery to correct that. So, but right now, I could still manage it. It's okay. It's not like hurting me or causing me any extreme discomfort. But they just told me to take it easy. Don't be picking up on no heavy stuff. Don't be Don't be doing any sit-ups or crunches. So child, that means I really gotta watch what I eat, honey. And be careful, cause baby, if the stomach get big and then the little bump already sticking out, girl, that's just gonna be real. Y'all know I'm kind of vain when it comes to my body. I don't really be pressed about the teeth. Like I want to get my teeth done, but yeah, I don't really be pressed about my teeth because I feel like I feel like I have a cute face, and I feel like I'm fat in the ass and small in the waist. And I feel like I have a pretty good brain on my shoulders, like my brain. So, I'd be like, chill, y'all will be all right with this grill, girl. You, you can't win them all, bitch. Bitch, you can't win them all, bitch. Bitch, humble yourself, bitch. They crooked, bitch, they got some plaque on them. You hoes to be all right until let's just really, really like let me just go ahead and get this done. But for right now, bitch, we gonna deal with this plaque and these crooked teeth, bitch. Girl, I'm giving you cute face, small face. I mean cute face, small waist, fat ass, and I got a brain. Girl, girl, what they say? 2 out of 3 ain't bad, bitch. But anyway, so I gotta work on this. I gotta do my dilation, and I might pop on later to do another live. But yeah, I um I'm doing good on the weed thing. Like I haven't been drinking, I haven't been smoking, but I haven't. Yesterday, I had a thin crust crunchy pizza, and it had bell peppers, banana. It had bell peppers, banana peppers, um, black olives, and pineapples on it. That bitch was so good. And that was really legit like the only thing that I ate yesterday. So I like ate half of it for lunch and then I ate the other half for dinner. And that was pretty much, what I ate yesterday. Then when I went to go see my doctor today, he was like, "Is it just me or have you lost weight?" And it was so funny because he's gained weight. But I didn't say it, but I noticed it. Like, I don't know what's been going on with him, but when I first met him, his stomach was super flat. And when he came in today, it was kind of round. I was like, whoa, what's going on with you, Dr. Perez? Like, you been stress eating? Because bitch, you was giving like you was 4 months pregnant. Like you was in your second trimester. And it happened really, really quickly, chill. Yes, I love me a supreme pizza. I love olives. I love olives. I love olives. I love olives. I love pickles. I love banana peppers. I love stuff like that. Oh yes, I love me a supreme pizza. Fuck with the olive. Fuck the olives. Oh, you don't mess with the olives. I like thin crust pizza though, because that's the only pizza that I could get away with without feeling bloated. So Domino's makes a really good thin crust pizza, and I love garlic butter sauce. Oh my goodness, I love garlic butter sauce. I'll be like this. And you know what else is a guilty thing that I like? I tried shrimp toast from the Chinese restaurant. I like shrimp toast, and I like crab ragoons. I like the cream cheese when they take the cream cheese and they take the cream cheese and they put the little crab lumps in it and they put it in a wonton and you do it with the sweet and sour sauce. And I love dumplings. I love dumplings. I don't like them fried though, and I don't like pork dumplings. I like vegetable dumplings because they taste weird. Little Caesars make me pop too. Oh, and Little Caesars got them little small ones now, them little small ones, but I can't eat them because they got pepperonis in them. But yeah, chill. all this talk about food, y'all gonna make me hungry and I gotta dilate. Let me do my dilation first before I be trying to think about what I'm gonna eat. Let's start talking about food. Anyway, I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining me for this live. Thank you, Yumi. Thank you, Anandia. And as always, thank you, 100% Pure Love for having my back in these comment streets. Thank you, Aaron, for coming through. So nice to meet you, Camille Cherry. Glad you came and stopped through. And thank you, Queen, Golden Queen, for coming through. I enjoy all of y'all. And I'm gonna try to pop on here tonight before I go to bed. If y'all have some topics that y'all want to talk about again, make sure you leave it in the comment section. Um, so put something on my radar to let me know. If not, then I'll take it that I could just ramble about anything that I want to ramble about. Anyway, I love y'all. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for the purple and gray hearts. And I will check in with y'all soon. Mwah. Oh, and remember, you don't have to be wealthy to stand on business. Yes, egg rolls. We're gonna do the candle later. We're gonna do the candle and all that later. So if I don't pop on for nothing, I'll pop on to do that.